Come join Kyle, John and David as they go through what's on the playlist. Find out what's everyone's favourite at Chicken Soup for the Soul Entertainment. We have a few segments, to be honest. In and out points, no celebs and the gossip. Back in time where we're talking about the big M's, coming attractions, what the cue. Quick checks, who'll be laughing? You abundantly. Welcome to Dual Redundancy.
Yes, welcome to Dual Redundancy, the only podcast where you can hear all latest in television and entertainment news with two millennials with exactly the same opinions. I'm one of those hosts, David Allen, and another one is
John Berg, and the third one is
Kyle Bridger. I realized I totally forgot to plan this, but I am the comedy to John's drama to Dave's limited series. We want you in limited amounts.
Yeah. And sometimes some of the best television is the limited or anthology series category. I'm the prestige. I'm the stuff everyone wants to see. I'm one and done, and you just are wanting more. No? Okay.
And then they announced the sequel that no one wanted.
Yeah, the reboot.
The second season.
God,
it did so good. There's a season 2.
Yeah. Run it into the ground. But yeah, so this is a little weird because, comedy, drama, limited series. It's like we're talking Emmys for some reason, but the Emmys are not until January, but they were supposed to be in September. We're in like this alternate reality of we would have been predicting the Emmys tonight, but we're going to wait until a little bit later for that. Instead, we're going to have somebody else predict the Emmys, and then we can comment on that. We're going to bring in Bard, but before we do that, we have this first segment. John, what is it?
In and out points. Yes, it is in and out points. And back in episode 422, we played a brand new collaboration between Drake and The Weeknd entitled Heart on My Sleeve that was taking over the internet. The only problem was these two did not collaborate on the song. Instead, it was actually AI generated. Well, Ghostwriter, who is the shadowy creator of the song that is here with a pillowcase on his head with sunglasses, went viral with the song in April and has submitted the song for Best Rap Song and Song of the Year at the Grammys. Now, these two awards are given to the song's writers as opposed to performers. So while the vocals are computer generated, quote, it's absolutely eligible because it was written by a human, according to Recording Academy CEO Harvey Mason Jr. in an interview he had with the New York Times. So there's a lot of parts to this story, and we'll give some updates a little bit later on, but initial thoughts, John. Should this song be eligible for the Grammys? I don't know. That's really tough because, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't. There's no clear cut line. Like, I could write a song for somebody and submit it, and does it have to be an actual song? Like, does someone have to actually play it and perform it, or can you have the theory of a song be you're going into so many different avenues as to whether or not a song should be eligible?
It's about the written material. It's the lyrics. So, are we judging just on that? The CEO expanded in a Variety interview and discussed a new rule that said a work that contains no human authorship is not eligible in any categories, but the use of assistive AI is not wholly forbidden. As is the case, he said, if Paul McCartney was cleaning up an old John Lennon vocal track with computer technology for a new Beatles song, he said, quote, if 3 or 4 Beatles are singing on the record and one of the voices has been socially or sonically enhanced by AI, it's still a live human performance, therefore it would be eligible. So there's these weird lines because Drake and The Weeknd did not sing on this, but it was written by a human, but then it was made by an AI, but then other times, AI and computers can assist in music making. So it's a really weird gray area with these. And again, this is what's showing what these strikes are happening right now. This technology is so new and so unclear. We don't have rules because it's so rapidly changing by the moment. Kyle, your thoughts on this?
Well, I think when the Grammys give something legitimacy to this, it speeds up that process even more of like, well, if a governing body is sanctioning it as okay, then it's like, okay, where are we at with this? But I get it. The writing was fine. Like, yes. The writing was
written by a ghostwriter who is a human despite his name.
Okay. Yeah, it is a weird. I mean, it's almost like what rap songs are. They're samples of stuff, but that's sampling the music. So, I mean, it's like modern day. I wouldn't say it's like modern day rap, but it's similar in that vein, in that they're using somebody's previous performance along with their writing. It is like this techie world. It's a weird scenario. And I'm like, John, I'm almost like speechless because I don't know how to feel about it, because I don't know how I feel about it. And a lot of people really, really like this song.
Yeah. So it took the internet by storm. Yeah. Like, maybe it deserves an award. I don't know. But
I just wonder where it ends. Do we get like some 18th century singer, or in like,
we got this new Mozart hit,
Yeah, in 2100, they're going to be like, toss salad and scrambled egg. You know what I mean? Like that.
You know what I've been seeing a lot in the same vein is people have been taking Frank Sinatra and making him sing all sorts of things. And some of them sound great.
Yeah, like
they're singing, songs that he never could have imagined, and they sound cool. And it's like, all right, I could see that not being something because it's somebody else's song that a third-party AI is singing. Like, the person organizing all that definitely shouldn't be in there. But this is completely different. This is like new material, you know?
Yeah.
But another problem that I'm thinking of is like, what if Drake and The Weeknd aren't okay with the use of their stuff?
That's where it gets a
because I mean we've seen it with voiceovers. It's like, well, if I can get myself to sound like Morgan Freeman reading 50 Shades of Grey, like, he's not going to be okay with that. You know what I mean? And so what if they use some kind of lyrics, or
it could dilute like their brand. If like, if everyone's doing this, it's like, well, yeah, have you heard the new Drake song? It sucks. It's like, well, it wasn't a Drake song. It was somebody else pretending to be Drake. But yeah, so while the quote in the New York Times from the CEO said, quote, "It's absolutely eligible because it was written by a human," not so fast. Because days later, after it was reported here, like in Variety and New York Times and stuff like that, maybe it was due to a human error. The full quote from the CEO was not reported by the New York Times. He added that the Academy would also look at whether the song was commercially available, with Grammy rules stating that a track must have general distribution, meaning, quote, "the broad release of a recording available nationwide via brick and mortar stores, third-party online retailers, and or streaming services." And now, because it was removed after legal action by Universal Music Group, this song specifically is not eligible, actually. He said, quote, "I'm sorry, but I have to clear up some of this bad and really inaccurate information that's starting to float around. Heart on My Sleeve is not eligible for Grammy consideration. Let me be extra clear. Even though it was written by a human creator, the vocals were not legally obtained, and the vocals were not cleared by the label or the artist, and the song is not commercially available, and because of that, it's not eligible."
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
But if the song was commercially available, it could have been nominated. It's like this weird thing. So I guess that shows if Drake, made an AI song with, his vocals and he's okay with it, yeah, it could be eligible, or if Ghostwriter got these two to sign on and
and say it was okay,
maybe release it, one day, like how like the Oscars, this film was released, in 6 theaters for 1 week randomly. Oh, it's Oscar eligible because it was released, in theaters. But it's a tricky situation.
All right,
but that
new Nathan For You episode, where they sell this album in 4 select stores in, towns with a population of 200 people, and it's eligible.
That sounds like something he would do.
I just wonder, like, in the future, I know a lot of teens and people get their music via SoundCloud.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting that it has to be commercially viable when you might have some SoundCloud artists that are going to be the next commercially viable thing.
Yeah,
or
just even TikTok. And that's how this whole thing got started. But yeah, so I just wanted to share the story. It was an update to something we've talked about before, and because it really, involves awards and AI, and that's the transition of what we're going to be doing here tonight. And another reality, without the 2 strikes that we are currently facing with the WGA and SAG, we would have predicted the 75th Primetime Emmy Awards tonight for next week's ceremony that would have been on Fox. Well, the ceremony has now been pushed to January 2024. We'll see if that date holds still. We still wanted to preview the Emmys this week. Now, Emmy voters have already cast their votes. The winners are locked. They're ready to go when the ceremony does happen. And while we wait for officially who won, we're going to take a look, from a different voting body and see what they think is the winner of these awards, and that is Google's artificial intelligence chatbot, Bard. So we're going to ask Bard which nominated actors and actresses and what nominated series should walk away with their corresponding Emmy this year. And then we'll discuss, of course, if Bard got it right, maybe saying who we think should win. We'll keep all of our actual real predictions until January or whenever the ceremony is. But tonight it's all right, let's see what, we're all worried about these computers taking over. Let's see if they can do what we do and predict these Emmys and, get the winners here tonight. So no official predictions tonight from us. But instead, we're getting the predictions from Bard. We're going to talk about who should win. We're going to do it live on the podcast. We're going to type it in. Bard's going to give us some answers. You guys ready for this? Is this a dumb idea? What are we doing?
No, I'm down with that. I'm just curious how accurate Bard is. Is Bard the redheaded stepchild of
I don't know.
Artificial intelligence? What are we using here?
Yeah, we'll see. It was one of those things where I think initially I tried asking ChatGPT, and maybe it was just because of the wording of how I asked it. It pretty much we don't do predictions. We don't everything's based on available information.
Interesting.
So, but Bard was, up for making predictions.
Bard was willing.
Bard was all right, we'll predict. We'll play some bets here. And I have some reasoning. Some of it, which is perfect for dual redundancy, is redundant, and I will read a lot of it because you'll see a pattern after a while, but they have some reasoning. They gave me some, reasons why they picked with what they did. So we'll discuss it tonight. We're gonna do drama, then limited, and then we'll end with comedy. And we're gonna start off with drama supporting actress, and of course, we're gonna ask Bard to read off the nominees.
The nominees for Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Drama Series are Jennifer Coolidge, The White Lotus; Elizabeth Debicki, The Crown; Megan Fahey, The White Lotus; Sabrina Impaxiator, The White Lotus; Aubrey Plaza, The White Lotus; Rhea Seehorn, Better Call Saul; J. Smith Cameron, Succession; and Simona Tabasco, The White Lotus.
All right. Well, we got the results, and the winner, according to Bard, Jennifer Coolidge, The White Lotus. All right, thoughts, Kyle? Is that the correct pick?
In my eyes, no, but I mean, it's possible. We know she's beloved by many, so I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. But I personally, Ray Seahorn, it would have been mine. But also, I think even Aubrey Plaza from The White Lotus would be a better option in my opinion, but I do think that Jennifer Coolidge is widely liked, and I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I mean, looking at because this is the White Lotus category, and Aubrey Plaza would be a good pick, but Megan Fahey. I mean, that ending scene where I think she was with who is it? The Ethan character on the beach, and just the look in her eyes, seeing the revelations of everything that happened that season. That'd be a moment right there. I think that'd be a great Emmy submission tape. I agree with you guys. Yeah, Ray Seahorn, this should be hers. Final season. This is the last chance. Like this, that's who should win. Jennifer Coolidge already has an award. She doesn't need another one. So yeah, I think I like this pick from Bard because I think it's the correct pick. I think that's right now, like it's probably her and maybe Ray Seaworm can maybe get some love in the end, but I think it's between probably those two. If I'm actually, we're going to place bets, but I'll read off why Bard thinks Coolidge. Coolidge gives a hilarious and heartwarming performance as Tanya, a wealthy and eccentric woman who is trying to find love and happiness. Coolidge is a gifted comedic actor, and she delivers some of the show's most memorable lines. I think Coolidge has the edge in this year's race. She's giving a breakout performance in a show that is getting a lot of buzz. She's also playing a character that is very different from the character she's played in the past. I would be surprised if she does not win. It's also worth noting that The White Lotus is a critically acclaimed show and has been nominated for several other Emmys, including Outstanding Drama Series. This could give Coolidge a boost in the Emmys race. So there's the reasoning from Bard. I will say, Bard, I mean, there's like 6 people in this category.
I know. I was going to say that. I'm like, there's all these people right here. Of course, it's a huge show.
If anything, it's like what we've talked about before. It's like, well, you got
Split.
Yeah, 5 from The White Lotus. You're splitting, and you're going to get someone, one from Succession, one from The Crown, or one from Better Call Saul that could maybe take up the votes here. But yeah, so and I like also it's a lot about like how she's a comedic actor, heartwarming performance, like it's funny. It's like, well, wait, this is the drama category again, guys. Like, we're blurring the lines, but. Yeah, I know, John. I know you're hoping for Seahorn, right?
It's overdue.
Yeah,
that's all I can think of. It's overdue, and possibly the best performance she's given in the show in this second half of the season.
The Waterworks, yep.
Yeah, so I can't see it any other way, But
we'll see. We will see a lot of White Lotus in this category, and even more. In the next category, the nominees for Drama Supporting Actor are...
The nominees for Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Drama Series are... F. Murray Abraham, The White Lotus; Nicholas Braun, Succession; Michael Imperioli, The White Lotus; Theo James, The White Lotus; Matthew McFadden, Succession; Alan Ruck, Succession; Will Sharp, The White Lotus; and Alexander Skarsgård, Succession.
So yeah, if you were on Succession or The White Lotus and you were a man... Congratulations on your Emmy nomination this year. But let's see, who does Bard think will take home the prize? It's Matthew McFadden for Succession. All right, Kyle. Again, is this? How about is this the correct will win? And also, is it your should win?
It's my should win. Yeah. I do think he deserves it. Now I'm not as confident about the pick. I think I would be more confident with Jennifer Coolidge, but I do think Matthew McFadden deserves to win this. I think he had a great couple of options for tapes, but I'm scared of somebody even like Will Sharp was great in The White Lotus, and I think Theo James was good as well. So either of those could be an option, but there could be a White Lotus split, and McFadden was just, dude, I'm a huge Tom.
Yeah, you're a disgusting brother. We know. And it's with, I mean, I think the two you mentioned from The White Lotus are probably definitely the standouts that could win from The White Lotus. I will say, though, for me, I not only is he my should win, he is my will win in this category. I mean, to spoil our podcast in January, I really think it's going to be him, just with the amount of stuff he got with all the scenes with him and Shiv. I won't spoil the ending, but with what happens in the final episode, he had so much going on this season. Matthew McFadden, I think he's going to take it. And then you look at the rest of, even just from Succession, I think I mentioned on nomination day, I don't think Nicholas Braun should be here.
I don't get that nomination either.
I think it's just because he's there. He's on the call sheet. And it's like, I was glad to see Alan Ruck finally get some love for Connor. I mean, he deserves something for those 4 seasons. Alexander Skarsgård was, did quite good with a character that was like a one-off, maybe season 3 that became like a recurring character in season 4. But yeah, then you look at, the rest, and like, okay, F. Murray Abraham, like, I like Imperioli from like Sopranos, but like, I don't know if there was enough there for that. Yeah, Kyle. I mean, not Kyle. John. Your thoughts on this category?
Yeah, I kind of agree with what you guys are saying. I mean, the White Lotus crew. There's a couple people in there who I'm like, no thanks, and then like, I didn't really like Skarsgård's performance personally, but I don't know. It's I don't know. Yeah. I don't have any reason why they're wrong. So
yeah. Let's see what Bart said. So Bart said, McFadyen gives a nuanced and complex performance as Tom, a seemingly harmless but deeply insecure man who is married into the Roy family. McFadyen captures Tom's ambition, his loyalty, and his self-preservation instincts with brilliance. He's also one of the most scene-stealing actors on the show, and he always delivers some of the show's most memorable lines. I think McFadyen has the edge in this year's race. He's giving a performance that is both nuanced and complex. He's also playing a character that is very different from the characters he's played in the past. I would be surprised if he does not win the Emmy for Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Drama Series. It's also worth noting that Succession is a critically acclaimed show and has been nominated for several other Emmy Awards, including Outstanding Drama Series. This could give McFadyen a boost in the Emmys race.
Now, can AI plagiarize itself?
I think it just did.
That a thing?
And spoiler, it does that throughout the night.
Oh, God.
And sometimes the stuff it plagiarizes isn't correct, and we'll get to that as well.
Oh, my God.
But that's a little tease for that. But yeah, playing a very different character like he has in the past, just like Jennifer Coolidge. Wow. He's on a critically acclaimed show, also nominated for several other Emmys, just like everyone else in this category. Everyone else in this category, the same logic works for them too. But
I know.
Everyone's getting out of their shells and doing new characters. Wow.
Yeah, I guess so. All right, well, let's see. We've been talking Succession. Could it go, I guess, 5 for 5? Or actually 4 for 5. Forgot about Coolidge. But anyways, what is the nominees for lead drama actress?
The nominees for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Drama Series are Sharon Horgan, Bad Sisters, Melanie Linsky, Yellow Jackets, Elizabeth Moss, The Handmaid's Tale, Bella Ramsey, The Last of Us, Kerry Russell, The Diplomat, and Sarah Snook, Succession.
All right. Any guesses of what you think Bart said?
A nuanced performance, character. No, I'm going to go with the Succession person.
Yeah. And that is Sarah Snook.
Sarah Snook.
There it is.
Yes.
You're right. That's what Bart picks. Snook gives a nuanced and complex performance as Shiv, a cunning and ambitious woman who is trying to navigate the cutthroat world of her family's media empire. Snook captures Shiv's ambition, her insecurity, and her vulnerability with brilliance. She's also one of the most scene-stealing actors on the show, and she always delivers some of the most memorable lines. I think Snook has the edge in this year's race. She's giving a performance that is both nuanced and complex. She's also playing a character that is very different from the character she's played in the past. I would be surprised if she does not win the Emmy for Outstanding Lead Actress. It's also worth noting that Succession is a critically acclaimed show and has been nominated for several other Emmy Awards. Okay, you get the point. You get the point. But
you know what I love is that AI is just as lazy as people are. They're like, we gotta. This is too much. I gotta copy paste.
I did this already. Just see the last answer.
Yeah. But I mean, looking at this list, I think this is a good pick. Obviously, Snook is going from supporting actress to lead this year for this final season. But like looking at the list, I think, knock on wood, I think she has it. I mean, if it's like, I thought Yellow Jackets had a really poor second season. I think The Handmaid's Tale's time has come and gone for Elizabeth Moss. Kerry Russell, I think, as in The Diplomat, was a surprise. If she didn't get it for The Americans and what she did on that show for multiple seasons, I don't know if she's getting it for The Diplomat, especially this year with Succession going on. So I think, that's probably the will win, should win situation here. John, do you agree?
Yeah, no, I haven't seen most of these. Actually, I've only seen The Last of Us and Succession, but the performance in Succession, I think, outweighs anything I've heard about anything else. So,
and Kyle, it's Sarah Snook, right?
Yeah, to me it's Sarah Snook. I mean, I think her biggest competition probably is Bella Ramsey, just with the amount of love that The Last of Us got. But I really, Sarah Snook was one of the, it was like shined in some episodes, so it's going to be hard to beat her.
Yeah. All right, one more drama acting race, and that's drama actor, and the nominees are...
The nominees for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Drama Series are Jeff Bridges, The Old Man, Brian Cox, Succession, Kieran Culkin, Succession, Bob Odenkirk, Better Call Saul, Pedro Pascal, The Last of Us, and Jeremy Strong, Succession.
All right, this is an interesting category because I have maybe like
a tough one for me.
3 or 4 should wins.
Yeah.
It's a tough category. Let's see what Bard said. Bard picked, of these actors, Jeremy Strong from Succession. And Bard actually switched up some of its reasoning a little bit for this category specifically because of just how good Jeremy Strong is in Succession. But yeah, this one's going to be tough. I don't know like who my should win is. I love Jeremy Strong, specifically in Succession. I think always delivers, especially that final episode. Oh my God, every moment it's so carefully orchestrated and constructed. But man, Kieran Culkin had a great season too. The moments at a certain I'm trying to skate around. I mean, I guess I could say it at this point. If you haven't watched, at a certain person's funeral, it's like that eulogy that he tried to perform was an emotional moment. I mean, there was so much of that this season. And then we're skipping over Bob Odenkirk. And I'm sure, John, you have a lot to say with this here.
I mean, I think he deserves an Emmy for the entirety of Better Call Saul.
And Breaking Bad.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't super in that, but Better Call Saul. But I don't know if these last couple episodes were his peak. I want to give it to him because he hasn't really gotten anything for it. But, are we basing it off of those last couple episodes? We're basing it off of his entire performance, So it's kind of tough. I mean, just trying to compare those last couple episodes to, the entire season. I hate to say it, but I think people are going to lean towards Strong.
Yeah, and I just also think that the timeline for Better Call Saul aired over a year ago. And Succession was, airing right up until the end of Emmy, nomination, window closed there. It's just more fresh in people's mind. It's just more zeitgeist.
I feel like there's always that recency bias there when it comes to the Emmys. I think that's why a lot of times they would try and drop their second season of their shows or whatever, their later seasons that correspond with the voting. So
I hate to say that it's not, Odenkirk, but I feel like, just the facts laid out, I don't think people are going to be voting too heavily for him, unfortunately.
Jeremy Strong already won once, right?
Yes, he has won Emmy for this. I believe, looking at this list, I think that's it for wins. Everyone else, has gotten nominations over these years, but I don't think anyone else has gotten a win yet. It's interesting to see Brian Cox here. I think, this is more of like a agent, kind of like future negotiation thing where, I was the lead actor and this is like, you were not the lead actor in the final season. I think you must have just been over the cusp of what the guest actor was, because if not, I would have entered that and you would have won. Yeah. You would have won guest actor. You could have went into supporting, but then you're also, you're up against 4 other guys from Succession. And, what was top, but who knows? Maybe it would have been a better shot. I think here this is like, of the 3 choices, I think this is his worst shot of the 3 categories to win an Emmy.
Yeah. I agree.
But so let's look at what Bard said. Bard said, Strong has been nominated for this award 4 times in the past and has won it once. He's still giving one of the most nuanced and complex performances on television. Strong captures Kendall Roy's arrogance, insecurity, and vulnerability with brilliance. He also has great chemistry with his co-stars, and he's always at the center of the show's most dramatic moments. I think Strong has the edge in this year's race. He's giving a performance that is both nuanced and powerful. He's also playing a character that is very different from his characters he's played in the past. I would be surprised if he does not win. But it's also worth noting that Succession is in its final season, which could give Strong a boost in the Emmys race. The Television Academy often rewards actors who give standout performances in their final seasons. Now, they switched it up. That is true. You know, sometimes you got the Friday Night Lights with Kyle Chandler. You get the John Hamm final season of Mad Men.
Yeah.
You get that last, like, this is your last chance. Maybe we'll see that here with Bob Odenkirk. But it's also interesting, again, like, well, there's Kieran Culkin, there's Brian Cox, there's, you know, it's like, so the logic isn't fully there for that. But yeah, I'm going to just double check real quick. Reading this tonight, I don't know if he's been nominated 4 times for Succession, but 2020, 2022, and 2023. I don't think he was nominated for season 1, so it's actually 3, I believe. That's my quick math. Yeah, just 3 nominations.
Is his 4th, right?
No, he's only had 3.
Oh, this is his 3rd.
Yeah, so this is his 3rd.
Yeah,
So
all right.
we caught Bard here. He's only been nominated 3 times.
Sleeping at
Bard
the
needs
wheel,
to
man.
Google some facts next time, maybe.
Yeah, I guess so. All right, one last category for drama, and it's been a night for a certain show, but we'll see. Maybe Bard is going to go somewhere else. What are the nominees for drama series?
The nominees for Outstanding Drama Series are Andor, Better Call Saul, The Crown, House of the Dragon, The Last of Us, Succession, The White Lotus, and Yellow Jackets.
All right. Thoughts, Kyle? What do you think Bard picked here?
I mean, it's such a tough category. I think we're going with Succession. I think that's what
Yeah, that's the one. I mean, I'm just going to make something up here. Let's see. It's worth noting Succession's in its final season. It's been nominated for other, I'll read the real stuff in a second for Succession, but yes, that's Bard's pick. The nominees for Outstanding Drama Series are all very strong, but I think the frontrunner is Succession. The show has been a critical and commercial success since its debut in 2018 and has won numerous awards, including 4 Emmys in 2022. Succession is a darkly funny and suspenseful drama about a dysfunctional family of media moguls. It is well written, well acted, and well produced. However, I think Succession has the edge over the other nominees. It's a show that has been consistently praised by critics and audiences alike. It's been also a show that's won numerous awards, including a Golden Globe Award for Best Television Series Drama in 2022. I would be surprised if it does not win. It's also worth noting Succession is in its final season, blah, 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 blah. Okay, you get the point. But, yeah, I mean, it's a tough one again because I would love to see Better Call Saul finally win a Emmy. Any Emmy would work at this point, but I would like to have it have at least one. And I think that's about it for me for like should win. I really enjoyed The White Lotus. I really did, but like I mean, for me, Succession, Better Call Saul, just have it.
Yeah.
Yellow Jackets, I've already said my issues with it with season 2. House of the Dragon, I mean, come on. Like, no. And yeah, then it's like what? Andor, The Last of Us, The Crown. They're The Last of Us, yeah, I liked it, but I mean, it's not, I don't think at the level yet of those other shows, but
Yeah.
you guys disagree, agree? Where are you feeling?
I just think weirdly, Better Call Saul has been kind of vilified for being so consistent.
Yeah.
Or not vilified, but just like passed over.
Yeah.
Because it's just been so consistent, and I don't know what else you can do. I mean, it's running up against a buzzsaw though. Succession is so good. I feel bad for the creators that they're not, going to be memorialized with awards, but it's a great show. I don't know what else you can do,
Yeah. I don't know. This is it. And again, it's been so long, so I don't know. I don't know if they're going to remember how good, the show was in that final season.
I just felt like, I don't know. I'm not attached to the business as much anymore, but like when John Hamm was going, I felt like there was momentum.
Yeah.
You could feel like something going in that direction. Whereas like with Better Call Saul and Bob Odenkirk, I don't know if that momentum is there.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was there, but I think it was there from the beginning, so it didn't build. It was just
Yeah.
it was just a juggernaut
That's
from the
true.
beginning. And I wonder
Yeah.
if that hurt it where it didn't, not that it didn't develop, but it didn't grow because it already knew what it was. It already filled
Yeah.
its own shoes,
Yeah.
like I
Yeah.
wonder if that kind of hurt them in that regard, where it wasn't a Breaking Bad that was discovering itself and figured it out partway through and then was a bulldozer. It just from the beginning was already just like plowing through. And I really wonder if that hurt because they already knew what they were doing, you know?
And people definitely take it for granted. They had this impossible task of being a prequel, but also a sequel in the final season, and kind of connecting these pieces. Like the puzzle pieces were there, and it's like they had to organically put it together where it would make sense and not feel like, oh my God, we're just pushing that into a direction that doesn't make sense just to fit this thing that's going to happen in Breaking Bad season 3 or whatever. But yeah, it's going to be unfortunate, and I worry for it that it will go. I don't know the exact number in front of me, but it's never won an Emmy, period. And I really think between the juggernaut that is Succession, with all the nominations for something like The White Lotus, the tech awards of like The House of the Dragon or The Last of Us, it's just not gonna go home with one, I think, unfortunately. But
yeah.
Oh man. Well, we're gonna talk a little bit about the limited series category. We're gonna do the 2 top awards and then series. Let's start off with limited series actor.
The nominees for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Limited or Anthology Series or Movie are Taron Egerton, Black Bird; Kumail Nanjiani, Welcome to Chippendales; Evan Peters, Dahmer, Monster, The Jeffrey Dahmer Story; Daniel Radcliffe, Weird, The Al Yankovic Story; Michael Shannon, George and Tammy; and Stephen Yeun, Beef.
This is an interesting one. We just crunched the numbers here, and we have what Bard says, and I don't know if this is the right answer. I'm gonna be honest.
Well, that's keeping it interesting. I guess
keeping it interesting. I think the other ones has been pretty spot on tonight with the winners. I don't know about this one.
I have not I've not seen all these, so it's tough for me. I'm curious.
Okay.
Are we allowed to hear first?
Yeah. Well, do you want to guess or do you want to hear? You want to put yourself out there?
I'm gonna go. It said Evan Peters
for Dahmer, Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story.
Yes.
No, that is not the winner. It is, I guess, another serial related person here. It's Taron Egerton for Blackbird.
Okay.
So I'll read off the reasoning here. Egerton gives a transformative performance as Jimmy, a drug dealer who is offered a deal to get out of prison early if he can elicit a confession from a serial killer. Egerton captures Jimmy's intelligence, his charisma, and his inner turmoil with nuance and depth. He also has great chemistry with his co-stars, particularly Paul Walter Hauser, who plays the serial killer Larry Hall. I think Egerton has the edge in this year's race. He's giving a performance that is both transformative and powerful. He's also playing a character that is very different from the character he's played in the past. I'd be surprised if he does not win an Emmy. It's also worth noting that Blackbird is a critically acclaimed show and has been nominated for several other Emmy Awards, including Outstanding Limited or Anthology Series. This could give Egerton a boost in the Emmys race. Unfortunately, that last part is not true. Blackbird is not nominated for Limited or Anthology Series. So I guess it won't give him a boost because it wasn't nominated there. But yeah, I'm kind of surprised with this. I know like there was some Golden Globe love, I think for at least for Paul Walter Hauser earlier this year. I can't remember if Taron Egerton won for this, but I just think again it's been so long since the show aired on Apple TV Plus, and in the meantime you have had 2 Netflix series that have really took the world by storm with Dahmer and Beef. So I think either if I was going to say who probably was going to win out of this category, it would probably be either Evan Peters or Stephen Yeun. But as for should win, it's a little tougher for me because I really did not, watch much of these. I watched the Weird Al movie with Daniel Radcliffe, watched a little bit of Beef, and like an episode of Dahmer, but everything else.
And you binge Chippendales, right?
Oh, I mean, that's my life story. I already knew it was, what was going on there, but yeah.
My 2 would have been Stephen Yeun and Evan Peters too. So I don't know. I love Beef. But I remember loving like Ali Wong. Kind of took me, not so much Stephen Yeun, even though Stephen Yeun is great. But I was so surprised by Ali Wong.
Yeah. I think Peters would be my choice in this category. I mean, people were talking about that show for like months when it came out, and how creepy he was and all that, and it was like, and how well it was, like, you know, just cinematography like supported him. He would be, in my mind, the right choice, and then followed up by Yoon.
Yeah, I feel like Evan Peters has won before for Mayor of Easttown, so he already, you know, he has some hardware. The Emmy voters like him. Yeah, so I that's probably where I'm maybe given a slight edge, but I could easily see Steven Yeun win as well. Yeah. So I don't know, I think Bard made a mistake with this category, but we'll see. We'll see if that's true.
From things I've read on Twitter, which isn't a good indicator, but people who love Blackbird really love that show.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a good show, and I'm sure he does a good performance. I'm just looking at the will win of it all, not the should win of, I think. But maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. Let's look at limited actress here.
The nominees for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Limited or Anthology Series or Movie are Lizzie Kaplan, Fleischman is in Trouble, Jessica Chastain, George and Tammy, Dominique Fishback, Swarm, Katherine Hahn, Tiny Beautiful Things, Riley Keough, Daisy Jones and the Six, and Ali Wong, Beef.
All right, Kyle, I think I might know who your should win in this category is with Ali Wong here, but do you think Bard picked her as well?
I don't know. That's a tough one for me. I have no idea what the expectations are for this category. So
this has a little bit of everything in this category.
I'm kind of lost. I mean, I actually, nobody made me hate a character more than Dominique Fishback. So she did, like,
I couldn't get through Swarm. I couldn't do it because of how much she did with that character. I'm like, I can't.
It's very good. Yeah, it's very, very good. But I don't think she'll be a winner. I don't know. It could be Ali Wong.
But according to Bard, it's Jessica Chastain for George and Tammy.
Oh, boo.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
But
I'm just mad I'm wrong.
This would be Chastain winning another award for playing a Tammy after the Oscar for Tammy Faye. But so here, Bard said Chastain, for her performance in George and Tammy as Tammy Wynette, or should win for her performance as Tammy Wynette. Chastain gives a transformative performance as Wynette, one of the most iconic country music singers of all time. Chastain captures Wynette's talents, her demons, and her love for her husband, George Jones, with brilliance. She's also a gifted singer, and she performs many of Wynette's songs in the show. I think Chastain has the edge in this year's race. She's giving a performance that is both transformative and powerful. She's also playing a character that is very different from the character she's played in the past. I would be surprised if she doesn't win. It's also worth noting that George and Tammy is a critically acclaimed show and has been nominated for several other Emmy Awards, including Outstanding Limited and/or Anthology Series. That's not true. So again, wrong, Bart. Sorry. George and Tammy is not up there.
Yeah, we noted it and we fact checked it.
We fact checked here. That's the one thing you can count on. It is not nominated, but which is funny because this could give Chastain a boost in the Emmys race. But it's like, well, her show wasn't nominated. You know whose shows were? Well, Lizzie Kaplan with Fleischman is in Trouble, Riley with Daisy Jones and the Six, Ali Wong with Beef. So I'm going to take that stat and use it for them instead against Bard here.
If Bard's using flawed logic, I mean, we got to go in the opposite direction, man. Yeah. We can't go with what he's saying. Yeah. If he thinks he's this show has 8,000 nominations, it's gonna flaw its picks.
I'll take the pretty much. I'm taking the info that I agree with, and that's correct. But all the rest, get out of here. Yeah. I don't know about this category. This one's tough. I'm not familiar too much with it. I mean, it does help sometimes when you have a Oscar winner, a movie star come in and do TV, and playing a real life person. That might help her, but I think it is probably between Chastain and Ali Wong again because Beef was such a big series. But all right, well, that leads right into limited series. What are the nominees for that category?
The nominees for Outstanding Limited or Anthology Series are Beef, Dahmer, Monster, The Jeffrey Dahmer Story, Daisy Jones and the Six, Fleischman is in Trouble, and Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Wait a minute, where's Blackbird? Where's Where's George and Tammy here? Bard, come on, what are you doing? But
I can't believe Obi-Wan Kenobi is
get out of
nominated
here,
for this, man.
get out of here. the shows that Bard was right. Blackbird and Georgia Tammy should be in this category instead, but that didn't happen. Those are our nominees. Any thoughts on who do you think Bard picked?
Let's go with Dahmer.
Another Netflix series with beef. The nominees for Outstanding Limited or Anthology Series at the 2023 Emmy Awards are all very strong, but I think the frontrunner is Beef. The show has been praised for its sharp writing, its nuanced performances, and its timely exploration of race, class, and gender in America. It's also been a critical and commercial success, becoming one of Netflix's most popular limited series of all time. I think Beef has the edge over the other nominees. It's a show that has resonated with critics and audiences alike. It's also a show that's won numerous awards, including the Golden Globe for Best Television Limited Series or Motion Picture Made for Television. I would be surprised if it does not win the Emmy for Outstanding Limited and Anthology Series this year. It's also worth noting that Beef is a Netflix original series, and Netflix has a good track record of winning Emmys for its limited series. For example, Netflix won the Emmy in 2022 for The Queen's Gambit. Now, with all that stuff in there, one of those facts was true, the other was not. It did win for The Queen's Gambit, but I will say Beef did not win a Golden Globe Award this year because the Golden Globes happened before the show came out. It was months before Beef came out, so that'd be pretty good of the Golden Globes if they knew, wow, this show is going to be big and it's going to be good, so let's give it an award now preemptively. But
yeah.
So sorry, Barton. Another mistake on the list. But yeah, I think of this list, the who, I mean, again, I don't really have a thought on should win, will win, but it's probably between the two Netflix series, and if I had to give an edge, I might go Beef just because I feel like critics liked it more, even though Dahmer was a bigger series, popularity-wise. I think the critics, liked Beef and would be happy with a Beef win instead of glorifying and giving Ryan Murphy an award for Dahmer. But
yeah,
I think Dahmer probably hit harder with a smaller amount of people, whereas Beef, I think, didn't hit as hard, but I think more people enjoyed it. I think that's why the general populace probably would lean towards Beef.
I loved Beef. I love Beef. No, I love Beef.
What's for dinner?
Yeah. I binged it so quickly. I was very engrossed with it. So
yeah, I think I've said my thoughts on these series. I watched Fleshman Is in Trouble. I enjoyed the series. It's not, I don't think anything revolutionary. It's not like rewriting television, but still a solid show. Great cast with that. But yeah, Obi-Wan, get out of here. Get out of here. These are not the shows you are looking for.
Yeah.
Television Academy. But all right. We have just one little group to talk about left, and that's comedies. We got, we'll start off with the supporting nominees for supporting actress first.
The nominees for Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series are Alex Borstein, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Ayo Aidbery, The Bear, Janelle James, Abbott Elementary, Cheryl Lee Ralph, Abbott Elementary, Juno Temple, Ted Lasso, Hannah Waddingham, Ted Lasso, and Jessica Williams, Shrinking.
All right here. Any thoughts, Kyle, of where this could go?
This category is so tough.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of good actresses here. Abbott Elementary people love. I think the woman from The Bear is great. Jessica Williams is great in Shrinking, and I believe there's still love out there for Ted Lasso, so I could see a Hannah Waddingham win. Didn't she already win?
Yeah, I believe she might have won
see it
twice,
happening
but
again.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, but where I think Bard's going, I'm going to go with one of the Abbott Elementary.
Which one?
Janelle James.
Ding, ding, ding. You got what Bard picked. That is Bard's pick for supporting actress.
James gives an hilarious and heartwarming performance as Ava, a tough but loving principal who's trying to make a difference in her school. James is also a gifted comedic actor, and she delivers some of the show's most memorable lines. I think James has the edge in this year's race. She's giving a breakout performance in a show that's getting a lot of buzz. She's also playing a character that's very different. Bard, your lines aren't very different from each other.
Oh my god!
But I would be surprised if she does not win the Emmy for Outstanding Supporting Actress. It's also worth noting that Abbott Elementary is a critically acclaimed show, has been nominated for several other Emmys, including Outstanding Comedy Series. This could give James a boost in the Emmys race. Now, yes, that is true, but I think it's tough because you got Shirley Ralph in this category as well.
Mm-hmm.
Could you get a split between those two Abbott co-stars there? Then could you get a split between the two Ted Lasso co-stars there? And then you have Alex Bornstein, Jessica Williams, and Ao from The Bear. And it's like possible. I don't know if Bornstein's going to get it for like the final season. I think that Maisel's time has come and gone. Jessica Williams, first season, maybe she'll get more later on. I think should win, and the one I think May will win. That's not the correct sentence at all. But I think it's Ao from The Bear. I think, sure, this is for season 1. So it's not, even though season 2 aired perfectly during the voting for the Emmys this year. Great timing on that. But also, I feel like her stock has only been rising. The Bear stock has only been rising. I mean, she's in like 3 or 4 movies that are like at the box office right now. She's in Theater Camp Bottoms, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. She voices again in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like, there's like 4 films at the box office with her in them. Like, I think it's like the time for her right now. So I would not be surprised if it's her. So
yeah,
but yeah,
I agree. It could be. I just have to say though, Jessica Williams in Shrinking does a really good job. I did like Shrinking.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe between her, and like with The Bear, they have so much more. I'm hoping so many more seasons. So maybe they'll get some love at some point. But
yeah,
we'll wait and see on that. Let's now move to comedy actor.
The nominees for Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Comedy Series are Anthony Carrigan, Barry; Phil Dunster, Ted Lasso; Brett Goldstein, Ted Lasso; James Marsden, Jury Duty; Eben Mossbachrick, The Bear; Tyler James Williams, Abbott Elementary; and Henry Winkler, Barry.
Marsden?
Yeah, I think I don't know about his. Wait, you don't like him in this category, John? Playing James Marsden?
Not that I don't like him in this category. I just feel like, not that he wasn't a big part of that show, because he was, but like, nothing he did was overtly like funny. You know what I mean? Like,
how dare you? He helped that guy soak. He had an incident in a bathroom. He had some moments. But no, I like James Marsden in Jury Duty. I'm glad Jury Duty got some love here, and I think it's just like a fun nomination to have him nominated as himself. It's like the Larry David when he would get nominated for Curb. I think they just wanted to give like an award to somebody like, and he's like the kind of face of the show because he's the most well known. But as for the rest, Kyle, where do you think Bard's going?
I don't know. This one's so tough for me. I think if it goes to a Ted Lasso person, I'm going to go with Phil Dunster this time, though.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. This one's so hard. I don't know where it would go.
This one is a tough one. I don't even know where I would go with a will win, should win.
With a
like,
will
I don't know.
Yeah. Because I like a lot of these guys on the list. So I could see him maybe going to Abbott Elementary just with how love that show is. I could see it being Tyler James Williams.
We've glossed over Bard's pick, though, and Bard's pick for this category is Anthony Carrigan for Barry.
Wow. I don't know about that one.
I don't know. I think maybe a season or two ago, I think Anthony Carrigan could have done it. I think there was some mixed reaction, I think, to see the final season of Barry, specifically the second half of it. So I think, like, while, maybe every season before that might have, been, A-tier stuff, I feel like a lot of people were like, maybe this was a B-tier season, maybe.
Yeah.
And to go with the logic that we've been hearing, talking about a little bit tonight, he is up against Henry Winkler. Henry Winkler has won in the past for playing Gene, in Barry.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, they could split the vote. You have two Ted Lasso guys possibly splitting the vote. Evan Moss Bacharach for the Bear would be an interesting one because, again, this is for season 1. And even though he had an amazing second season, specifically, I think the episode, it's After Forks. I'm trying to remember what it was called, but it was his solo episode there. Maybe he gets some love because, like, again, he was such a standout season 2. That's when people were voting.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that was helping him there. So I don't know. I mean, this is it's a tough one to go with. But let's see here. Did I read the stuff for? I mean, I practically did. You guys know the lines by now. But Bard said Kerrigan gives a hilarious and heartwarming performance as NoHo Hank, a Chechen mobster who is loyal to Barry despite Barry's many flaws. Kerrigan is also a gifted physical comedian, and he delivers some of the show's most memorable moments. I think Kerrigan has the edge in this year's race. He's giving a performance that's both hilarious and heartwarming. He's also playing a character that's very different from the characters he's played in the past. Surprised if he does not win. That's also worth noting that Barry's a critically acclaimed show and nominated for several other Emmys, including Outstanding Comedy Series. This could give Kerrigan a boost in the Emmys race. I'm wondering right now, I've just thought about it on the podcast, did Bard pick Barry? Is Barry like sort of maybe a nickname for Bard? For Bard? Maybe that's why he picked. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go with this one because we share a name, we share something in common. Maybe that could be the logic here that Bard was going with.
And if you say it in Anthony Kerrigan's character's accent, it Bard kind of sounds like Barry, right? Because he has like the Chechen.
I will say, some of the stuff that Bard was saying here is correct. I think he does give some of, hilarious and heartwarming moments of Barry. I think everything that went on with his arc this season, he would be a worthy winner for this category. But I just don't know if the voters are going to go with it. But all right, just the final 3 left. We're going to go a little over tonight. Blame Bard. His responses are just too long. Bard. That's it. But let's see here. Lead comedy actress.
The nominees for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Comedy Series are Christina Applegate, Dead to Me, Rachel Brosnahan, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Quinta Brunson, Abbott Elementary, Natasha Lyonne, Poker Face, and Jenna Ortega, Wednesday.
Isn't it another interesting category?
Yeah.
You have a freshman series like with Jenna Ortega and also Natasha Lyonne for Poker Face.
Yeah.
You have final seasons for Marvelous Miss Maisel, Rachel Brosnahan. I believe it's the final season for Dead to Me. Christina Applegate, I believe, kind of is going to be stepping back from acting with some health issues. So it's like, okay, and then you got Quinta Brunson here, right in the middle.
Yeah.
So where do you think Bard's going to go, Kyle?
I think it's between 2 people. I think it's between Jenna Ortega and Quinta Brunson. I think that's going to go Quinta Brunson. But Wednesday, Jenna Ortega is Wednesday, I think got a lot of love. So
final answer. What did Bard pick?
Quinta Brunson.
You got it. Nice call there. Yeah, so Brunson gives a breakout performance as Janine, a dedicated and optimistic second grade teacher who's trying to make a difference in their students' lives. Brunson captures Janine's passion, her humor, and her resilience with brilliance. She's also one of the most scene-stealing actors on the show, always delivering some of the show's most memorable lines. I mean, she's a writer, Bard. Come on. I mean, of course she's going to give herself some good lines. But I think Brunson has the edge in this year's race. She's giving a breakout performance in a show that's getting a lot of buzz, playing a character that's very different, and blah, 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 critically acclaimed. give a boost in the Emmys. Okay, we get the point at this, with Bard. But, yeah, I mean, I think I like the pick. I think, unfortunately, for Rachel Brosnahan, that Maisel's time has come and gone.
Yeah.
Natasha Lyonne, that's an interesting one with Poker Face. I think that might just be like, they like her, obviously, from Orange is the New Black and her other roles. But, I mean, Jenna Ortega, her stock's rising. Wednesday was a huge hit. But then, there was like a little bit of controversy with some of the comments with writers and, the stuff on set. And it's like, well, the people voting, will they like that? Maybe they'll go with a fellow writer with Quinta Brunson
You know, she's the star, the face, the person behind Abbott Elementary. Mm-hmm. So maybe it's like by awarding her, we're rewarding the show with this, you know, kind of like the, you know, when they would nominate like Donald Glover for Atlanta or any, you know, just the showrunner, the Pamela Adlon for Better Things, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I like the pick. I like the pick from Bard on this one. I think this is good. This could be it. But
that would be your should win.
I guess. I mean, I'm not too familiar. I mean, did not watch Wednesday. I completed Maisel. I think Rachel Brosnahan is great in it, but again, I think the time has come and gone. And Natasha Lyonne, like I watched a few Poker Face. You know, it's one of those things you either love her or hate her. I feel like you like that style. You like you could be all in or you could be against it. So I think Quinta is a good pick here. But all right, here we go. Comedy actor.
The nominees for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Comedy Series are Bill Hader, Barry, Jason Segel, Shrinking, Martin Short, Only Murders in the Building, Jason Sudeikis, Ted Lasso, and Jeremy Allen White, The Bear.
Okay.
I mean, I think this is a pretty stacked category. This is hard to choose here.
This is a tough one. Where do you think Bard went?
I'm gonna go with Jeremy Allen White.
Man, Kyle, you can play this as a parlor game here. You got it.
I am Bard.
Or you're just asking Bard like ahead of time, and you're getting the answer before us, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's see here. Jeremy Allen White. Why does Bard think that? White gives a raw and powerful performance as Carmy, a young chef who returns to Chicago to take over his family sandwich shop after his brother's death. White captures Carmy's grief, anger, and determination with nuance and depth. He also has great comedic timing and delivers some of the funniest lines in the show. I mean, does he? He's a great actor, but I don't know if that show he's not doing punchlines here on the Bear. No. But okay, I think White has the edge in this year's race. It's the same old the lines here for different character and blah blah blah. But I think of this group, I would go with in with a will win right now, you know, in September, but also I think it should win. I think it should win as well. I think what he's doing in The Bear is just something very special. Again, you know, Bill Hader sure is the star of Barry. He's won in the past for it. Season 4 maybe was a little mixed. I think Jason Sudeikis, you know, what I've heard of Ted Lasso, that season was definitely mixed. He's won before.
It's like more of the same. The same.
So and I'm not too familiar with Segel and Shrinking. How's he in that?
He's good. Yeah, he is very good. But I would say that Jeremy Allen White is the better option.
Yeah.
He does something with that character. He's also just got a look about him. You know, he does a really good job in that show.
Yeah. All right. So with all that being said, you saw where they picked the acting awards. Let's look at the last one of the night. What is Bard going to pick for Outstanding Comedy Series?
The nominees for Outstanding Comedy Series are Abbott Elementary, Barry, The Bear, Jury Duty, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Only Murders in the Building, Ted Lasso, and Wednesday.
All right, Kyle. You've been doing pretty good.
Okay.
Picking with Bard here. So what do you think Bard picked for this last award of the night?
I think The Bear is kind of in a weird category.
Yeah.
That's a tough one to me. So a lot of good options here. But I think Bard went with Abbott Elementary. This show was blowing up not too long ago. People love it. I mean, people love The Bear, but I think the whole story surrounding Abbott Elementary, people love the show. It's very funny. I've caught a few episodes. So I'm going to go with Abbott Elementary. Oh, you gotta be joking me. What?
Ted Lasso is Bard's pick for comedy series. Bard said the nominees for Outstanding Comedy Series at the 2023 Emmy Awards are all very strong, but I think the frontrunner is Ted Lasso. The show has been a critical and commercial success since its debut in 2020. It's won numerous awards, including 7 Emmys in 2021. Ted Lasso is a heartwarming and funny show that has something
for everyone. It's also well written, well acted, and well produced. I think Ted Lasso has the edge over the other nominees. I think it's a show that has captured the hearts of viewers all over the world, and it's still going strong in its third season. I would be surprised if it does not win the Emmy for Outstanding Comedy Series. Yeah, so this is an interesting one. I mean, it's won twice before for the previous 2 seasons. But man, season 3, again, was a mixed season. Yeah. I don't know if it has it. I feel like the Bears stock has really been rising. I think it was perfect timing with season 2 being, so critically acclaimed during the voting for about season 1. That's where I would probably go with a should win and a will win, I think, of this group. I mean, I guess it depends on your definition of comedy series, because, like, again, The Bear isn't laugh out loud funny.
Yeah.
But I think
there's moments,
it's a really good show.
Maybe it was that season of Barry, no?
Yeah. I mean, Barry was darker than most dramas on TV.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was going to go with laughs, I'm going with Jury Duty. But again, like, I don't know. It's hard to pick that when there's The Bear and Barry and all these other shows in here. Maisel's time has come and gone. I think the stock, I feel like if Only Murders and Abbott weren't able to win in their first seasons, I don't know now, especially with Only Murders, I feel like that's kind of become like an afterthought. It's just, so those are my thoughts with where things are going. Again,
I think it's a strong category, but there's several options.
Yeah.
A couple of options that are better than Ted Lasso for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I would agree. I would choose Barry, The Bear, Jury Duty.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I didn't watch all of Lasso, so I can't fully say, but just everything I've heard, just like the episodes being like an hour and just it felt disjointed.
I watched it. I can tell you, it is third or fourth best show here.
So, but that's what Bard picked. That's Bard's winner for comedy series, and we'll have to wait and see if any of these predictions are right from Bard. We got the Emmy Awards currently scheduled for January 15th on Fox, but they were pushed from September to January because of 2 strikes, and we're still dealing with 2 strikes. So we will see if this date stays. Well, I mean, we're not done with Bard, that's for sure, because we've also asked Bard all the way back in April when we did our annual summer box office draft, and that's next week's podcast. We are going to reveal which host accurately predicted the summer box office, which films did the best, which ones, and it'll be kind of like a wrap up of the summer. We'll talk about the films. We'll say, oh, what surprised us, what what bombed, it'll be kind of like a wrap up of all the summer movies, and we'll reveal again which drafter. Maybe it was Bard. Maybe Bard picked the best films of the summer. We will wait and see on that, and that will be on Monday, September 25th on Twitch. And if you want even more Emmys content, we got some already recorded for you. We reacted to the nominations back in July in episode 427. Everything was like the next day after the nominations came out. We reacted to all of them, everything that jumped out to us, all the big winners, all the big snubs, all the stuff with nominations there. We'll have our official predictions come January, if that is when the ceremony will be. We'll also maybe have some clip shows of some of our Emmy coverage that, all these shows that are nominated for Emmys. We'll compile that up into a clip show to get you caught up and ready, because at this point, some of these things aired it's going to be like 2021, I don't know, maybe 2022 for the 2024 ceremony. It's going to be a long time between some of these shows, so you'll need a refresher, that's for sure. Make sure you're following us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, the blog, doordoncy.com. We are live Mondays on Twitch, twitch.tv/doordoncy. Again, the next episode is Monday, September 25th on Twitch. And you can follow us on Twitter, on Instagram, and on TikTok at doordoncy. And yes, it's Twitter. I'm keeping that. I'm not saying the other thing. It's Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at doordoncy. I got to thank both you guys for joining me today. Maybe I should be thanking Bard for predicting
being the fourth host tonight.
Really?
Bard got a C+ at best.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say.
I don't know.
And he's got accusations of plagiarism all
true.
over him.
That is true. I had to fact check a lot of Bards, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Academic dishonesty. Have fun.
No, I'll thank both of you guys, and of course, John directing the show, putting it up on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, stuff like that. I couldn't do it without you guys. But that's it for this week. Until next time, I'm David Allen.
I'm Trevor.
And I'm Cobridger.
And that's all we got for Do or Duncy. Goodbye, everybody.